Good afternoon, everybody. June 15th, 2017. Hope everybody's doing well. Just a few things I want to talk about today that I was moved to speak about during my prayers. Both of them had to do with conversations I've had recently with some people, and actually over the years, very similar to other conversations I've had. And I've talked about this on the blog and probably here before on a video. But was moved to speak of them again today, because sometimes it takes more and more times to reiterate something for it to sink in with people. First thing was a conversation I had with somebody talking about who God is and what God is, and what all about God that is. And I've come across this many times, people that say that if it's not in scriptures, then it's not true, it's wrong, it's false about God. That in itself shows closed-mindedness, the flat earth mentality, weak faith. Because we're here to learn and grow in Him, in His light, and about Him, and help others to do so. Now, again, everybody's not going to see things the same, because we're all different levels of spiritual development and on different paths, and we're all different inside and perceive things differently. But you have to be open to things. So it says, seek and you shall receive, you shall find, ask and you shall receive. I mean, that's about faith, about learning and growing about Him. Seek Him and you will find Him. Ask to learn about Him and He will teach you. But you can't just say, okay, read the Bible, or whatever version of the Bible, again, who knows which one's right, and then say, okay, that's all there is about God. No. God is infinite. He is infinite. And to say that He's all that is about Him is contained in just the scriptures is just lunacy. It's closed-mindedness. And you're not going to grow in His light. I mean, you can't say you believe in God completely, as much as He wants you to believe, in every ounce of your being, heart, body, mind, spirit, soul, and then put limits on Him, saying, okay, this is all that He is, when He is everything. Everything's possible with Him, by Him, of Him, from Him, and everything's possible. He's immense. Our minds can't conceive, can't contain the immensity in eternity of God. I mean, He created the universe. Think of the size of the universe. And again, I've mentioned this before. I mean, the guesstimated size of the universe, because we don't know for sure, that it's hundreds of billions of light years across. Just do the math in your head. A light year is the distance light travels in a year. Well, light travels at 180,000, roughly 180,000, 186,000, 180,000, if I remember correctly, 1,000 miles per second. Per second! Miles per second! Just do the math. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a minute, in a day. Just do the math. And how many minutes in a year? How many seconds in a year? Just do that math. And I mean, our minds can't figure it out. Maybe a few very gifted people can in their head. Otherwise, we need a computer. And that just give us the distance that light travels in one light year. Now we're talking multiply that times hundreds of billions of light years. No computer can compute that high that I know of. So, and that's just this universe. And that God is infinitely more than that. So that all that He is cannot be contained. I'm not saying it cannot, because everything's possible. Highly doubtful that it's contained in that book. A lot about Him is. It's an introduction. It's a doorway. Hey, it's like the foyer into God's kingdom. The entryway. You just stand in there and you going into a vast, vast museum. You come into the front of that building. That's what the Bible is. And there's just so much more in there. And while you're in there, you read in the introduction about the place and in the layout of the place and a little bit about the place that you're in. That's what the Bible is. And to say that, okay, I've come in here, I've come in the entrance to this museum, this vast building, like going to the Smithsonian, going in the beginning of one building, reading about all the Smithsonian on this little pamphlet, say, okay, that's all there's about Smithsonian. I don't need to see it. I don't need to walk through it, spend time in it. It's all right here in this little pamphlet. It's insane to think that way. That's insane. Why do you limit yourself? Why does anybody want to limit themselves that way? God doesn't want you to limit yourself. He wants to teach you. He says, here, come, listen, seek, ask, knock. And at the end, the door will be open to you. But if you don't want to do that, say, okay, thank you for the pamphlet, for the introduction. That's all there is about God. I know all about God. That's another thing. If you read the Bible 1 or 2 or whatever times, and you're studying it, and you're saying that's all there is about God right there, then you are saying that you know all there is about God. And if you know all there is about God, you're saying, simple mathematical form or statement, if all that God is in the Bible, scriptures, and if I've read all about God and studied about Him, then I know all about God. All there is to know about God. And if I know all there is about God, then you're saying, I am God. I am equal to God. I am the same as God. That's idolatry. That is idolatry. You are not at the same level of God. You are not God. You're making yourself a self-God. That is idolatry, and that is wrong. So think about that. Before you say, oh, all that God is in the scriptures, and I've read the Bible, so I know all there is about God. Brothers and sisters, you are in for the shock of your life when you leave this world. Because not only will you have struggled to get in, you're going to be blown away by the immensity of God. The mind cannot conceive. It's not designed to conceive the immensity of God. Does that mean, oh, I'm not going to waste time learning about Him? No, absolutely not. We use very little of our brains. If He gave us all these brain cells, and we use a very small percentage of them, why would you think He gave us all of them? To not use them? To not fill them up with information? He wants us. He says, here, I've given you this brain. Fill it up with learning about me and all there is to learn about me. Yet you fill up one small percentage, that's it. I don't want to learn no more. I know it all. That's crazy. Use the time you have in this world to learn about God. No, we're too focused on learning about things in this life and attaining things in this life. It's like the choice of being in a car, loading it up with all this stuff along the way, all these possessions and whatnot, taking them and going down my path, and getting to the end of the road, you can't go any further because you have to leave this world. Versus a car, says you only have what you need, take what you need, and it's all you keep in that car. Just keeping what you need, you use it up, stop and get some more of what you need, resupply and go to the end of the road. And then you got 2 cars side by side at the end of the road, end of their life, and they gotta leave. Says one's leaving behind virtually nothing, leaving. The others got all this stuff to leave behind. Oh my gosh. And they're having trouble letting it go. I worked all my life to get all this stuff. I can't just let it go. Well, guess who's going to make it to the light and who's not? Sodom and Gomorrah, pillar of stone, again. You have to focus on attaining things not of this world that'll do you good, learning about Him that'll do you good once you leave this world, versus wasting your time attaining things and doing things, possessing things that aren't going to do you any good. They're not going to do you any good. Nothing. It's like preparing for college, or preparing for a new job, or preparing for anything. Are you going to waste your time learning about stuff and preparing in ways that aren't going to benefit you in that next endeavor? Or you're going to train yourself or learn about things that are going to help you? Don't waste your time on things of this world that are going to do you no good when you leave this world. They're temporary. Focus on doing things and learning things and growing in His light. They're going to help you when you leave this world, so you'll be ready to leave this world behind. Because nothing goes with you. Nothing. Except the clothes on your back. As part of your spirit. And those will be taken for you before you, and reclothed, re-robed before you cross into the light. So, again, don't waste your time on that stuff. And then also had a discussion about, a number of times, about there not being death. People would believe, they believe that they will go to heaven, but they will have to suffer through the pains of death. No, Jesus told you, if you believe with every ounce of your being, believe it. Believe that God loves you and wants you in life. You will not suffer the pains of death. And if you can let go of everything, you will not suffer the pains of death. I mean, your spirit, and some of these messages I've received from victims of 9/11, airplane crashes, and so forth, disasters, confirm that because they've told. And just in some of the spiritual messages I've received, talking about how they lift out of the body and they're still looking at their body down below functioning. And then the end of it, whatever happened, the disaster that happened. And the voices are telling them, the angels are telling them, they're seeing this light, they're feeling this peace. It's telling them, reward for your faith. In other words, they believed enough that they didn't suffer death. In other words, Jesus said, those who truly believe will never die, will not suffer the pains of death. They are lifted out of their bodies. So that's what you want to focus on too as you're going through life. Strengthening your faith and growing in your faith so that you know for certainty. So therefore you will not suffer the pains of death. Your spirit will be lifted out, your soul will be lifted out. Your energy source and your energy essence will be lifted out. If you don't, you will suffer the pains of physical death. You will die. And then he told us that. Now, technically, death shouldn't even be a word because it doesn't exist. You truly believe there's no spiritual soul death. There's really no physical death either. The body's made up of matter. Matter is just transformed. It's not destroyed unless you place it against antimatter, but it's not destroyed. But what is antimatter? The opposite of matter? What's the light, the soul? The opposite of that? The devil. So it could be destroyed to suffer pains of death eternally. Who wants that? Don't be stupid. To me, that's just stupidity. Why would you want that? Pardon my abruptness, but that's the choice. Why would you want that? And technically, again, the body has no death because it's 97% water and 3% nutrients of the earth. In other words, from the water and the dust of the earth, dust were created and returned back to dust. We're made up of elements of the earth. They just break down through the help of external and internal bacteria and return back to the earth. Dust to dust. So we're technically not dying a physical death either, but we will suffer the pains of the physical transition of leaving the body in those last few moments. Or we can avoid that. We can avoid it. Who doesn't want to avoid that? So believe. And there is no such thing as death on any level. Now the other thing was a conversation with one person, was a lady, who, very positive, believe in God, believe in Jesus, very, very faithful. But, and she'd been through a lot. I mean, her mother was schizophrenic. I won't name names. Her mother was schizophrenic. She had sisters. Her father was gone. Her mother was schizophrenic and would bring boyfriends home, met in bars and whatnot. And she herself, and other sisters had stuff done to them too, but she was molested and probably raped numerous times from age 3 to 16. And she hated her mother. She would not forgive her. I mean, she loved Jesus, and her faith was strong, and she wasn't necessarily hung up on things of this world. She simplified her life, so it was in that process of being able to let go of everything, so that's good. But she could not forgive. I told her, well, eventually you have to forgive. I mean, because God's forgiven you, and He has forgiven. He even forgave the mother and the people that did what they did to her. So I said, you need to forgive as well, yourself and others. And she says, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. God wants to forgive me, that's fine, but I will never, ever, 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 ever forgive my mother. I said, well, you're not going to get into heaven. I don't care how strong you believe. Well, she had nothing to do with that, to hear that. Didn't talk to her again. She was done speaking to me. And I told her, says, 3 things are going to get you in heaven. I'll tell everybody here. 3 things are going to get you into heaven. 1, believe in God, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit with every ounce of your being. And know for a certainty, as sure as your hand is in front of your face, as sure as you're going to be that, not dreaming, as certain as you are about that, that's how certain you're going to believe, going to know about God. Even above faith. Faith is a belief in what is unseen and unknown. In other words, a belief. What's a belief? Is that a certainty? No, you believe it to be true. You're trusting in its truth and its authenticity. But certainty is above that. You want to be certain, absolutely certain about God and His existence. And that He's forgiven you and He wants you home. So you got to have that certainty about God. 2, you got to let go of everything in this world. Everything, every person, place, and thing, you have to let go of the world. Have to. Because you can't take anything with you. And 3rd, forgiveness. Because He's forgiven you, you have to forgive yourself and all others. Which is part of letting go of everything of this world. And if you can't do that, you, of a certainty, you will not be accepted in heaven. Why? Because things of this world, the physical world, are not compatible with the spiritual. I mean, they can't be crossed over. They can't go. They just can't go. Anything having to do with this world of a negative nature, anything of negative nature. Hate, like she couldn't forgive her mother. She's so angry and she hated her mother. Those that did what they did to them. You think that's compatible or that's acceptable to have those feelings in heaven? To take them with you into heaven? No. Anything of a negative nature is not compatible with the positive, which is God. Nothing of darkness is compatible with God, which is light. So you can't have those feelings, those emotions, and take them with Him. So I tell her and that's exactly going to happen. She's going to leave this world, and they're going to say, okay, do you accept Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit? Do you believe in God? They already know it, because speaking to her. Can you let go of everything? Or can you forgive? We know what happened to your mother, and they'll even show her everything that happened in her life. Can you forgive these people? Can you forgive her? And she says, no way. They say, sorry, you can't come in. You cannot come in. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And that's her free will choice to do so. They're not stopping her. She stopped herself. She will stop herself, anybody like that, by saying, no, I refuse. And when you do that, when God's forgiven you, and you refuse to forgive as well and others, you are saying, I am better than God. And she said this, if God wants to forgive me, that's fine, but I'll never, ever forgive. Right there she said, God wants to forgive me, fine. I'm better than Him. I'm above Him. He can't tell me what to do. I'm not going to forgive her. And she thinks she's going to get into heaven? Ain't no way in hell. Ain't no way in hell it's going to happen. And there's only one other place to go. So, He knows the truth of her soul, and that's what He judges on. So she will go to judgment. And I hope and I pray for her sake that she can just let it out. And that Jesus, I mean, when it's that hard to let go of something, you just ask Him to help you. Just help me to let it go. So there's a lot of people out there that sitting in these churches, spewing forth all this stuff about, I believe in Jesus, I'm Christian, I'm godly and all that. But they can't do those 3 things. They can talk up God all they want in their faith. They're not going to make it. I am absolutely certain. I'm not absolutely certain about everything, but a lot of stuff about God and my faith, I'm absolutely certain. I'm absolutely certain about that stuff. Those 3 things. You have to do that. Or else forget it. I know it's not like something people want to hear, but you believe it or not believe it, it doesn't change the reality of it. So it's very important to do that. And open it up. Don't put restrictions on God. Don't test God. Don't put yourself up there at the level of God. You ain't nowhere near God. You need to humble yourself. Humble yourself. Even though all that I know for Him and all that I do for Him and all the gifts He's given me to help do the things for Him and help others and all the wisdom and knowledge He's given me, discernment of His wisdom and knowledge, discernment of His word and truth, sharing of His word and truth, discernment of His will, discernment of darkness, all the stuff He does for me continually, all the good I've done and those I've helped through my journey, my long journey. I'm nothing. I am absolutely nothing compared to Him. Humble yourselves. Don't put conditions upon God. Hey, you want to do that? Fine. I'm not going to do it. How can you get in heaven? Get in heaven is become part of God, be God-like. Jesus said, you are all gods. You are all gods when you get to heaven. We're all part of God. He wants us back. But if you're fighting Him tooth and nail, and you put conditions upon Him, and you can't let go of things from the past, not going to happen. I'm telling you right now, it will not happen. So focus on that. Focus on that and ask for His help. It is hard. It is hard. It's hard to let go of things. It's hard to forgive. Now, the physical things of this world, you don't have to actually discard them like I did, but at least in your mind and your heart, be ready to get rid of them. You know? Like the fire in London. The fire anywhere. Any some emergency disaster like that. Tsunami coming. I mean, are you going to stop to gather up the stuff that you worked hard for to possess, that was yours? Or are you going to take your butt out and your loved ones and get out of there as fast as you can? Those who say, leave it all behind and go will survive, have a better chance. And those who just can't let go, I need to take this with me, and you're going to make it. They're going to be gone every single time. So keep your priorities in order, folks. At least let go in your heart and your mind of the stuff of this world. And then simplify your life. Start downsizing. You'd be surprised what you can do without, that you don't need. It's just your security blanket. It becomes a security blanket around ourselves. He is the security blanket. He's all you need. He's all you need. Not the walls we build up inside, not the physical stuff we put around us, not the people, places, and things we put around us. They can't protect us. Darkness is coming and get that, take you. God can come in and get past that. What's the point of it? Or people that seek to attain and learn more things about this world, it always kills me the ones that go to college at an older age and because they want to attain that stuff. Fine. To me, it's like, why waste your time? For a number of reasons. One, you're that much closer to leaving this world, so you should be focusing on learning more about God, things that are going to help you cross over and let go. Two, you spend all this money and this time and energy to get that later education. For what? It's not going to do you any good when you leave this world. It's not going to do you any good in this world because no one's going to hire you at an old age. So you would have wasted all the time and energy. Instead, if you want to learn, spend it on learning about God, things that are going to help you, and help you to help others. Helping others is going to help you to get in. Get your priorities straight. Keep them straight. That's about God. And the last thing I want to mention is a lot of people are worried about and get so frustrated about, and I've gotten frustrated too as well, and he reminds me, about people and their wealth. Psalm 49 really addresses this a lot. Especially the last part. But I'll read some other parts of it. Hear this, all you peoples. I'll read the whole thing. Hear this, all you peoples. This is Psalm 91 if you want to read it yourself, because it's a little different each Bible. Hear this, all you peoples. Listen, all you who live in this world, both low and high, rich and poor alike. My mouth will speak words of wisdom. The meditation of my heart will give you understanding. I will turn my ear to a proverb, with the harp I will expound my riddle. Why should I fear when evil days come, when wicked deceivers surround me, those who trust in their wealth and boast of their great riches? No one can redeem the life of another, or give to God a ransom for them. The ransom for a life is costly. No payment is ever enough, so that they should live on forever and not see decay. For all can see that the wise die, that the foolish and the senseless also perish, leaving their wealth to others. Their tombs will remain their houses forever, their dwellings for endless generations, though they had named lands after themselves, or buildings, or whatever. People, despite their wealth, do not endure. They are like the beasts that perish. So all these rich people gather all this wealth for what? They ain't taking it with them. They're going to be forgotten just like anybody else. This is the fate of those who trust in themselves, and of their followers who approve their sayings, who follow them. They are like sheep and are destined to die. Death will be their shepherd, but the upright will prevail over them in the morning. Somebody else will take over their stuff that they worked hard to attain. Their forms will decay in the grave, far from their princely mansions. But God will redeem me from the realm of the dead, which is this earth. He will surely take me to himself. Do not be overawed when others grow rich, when the splendor of their houses increases, or the number of their houses increases, for they will take nothing with them when they die. Their splendor will not descend with them. Again, nothing goes with them. Their splendor will not descend, key word, descend with them, not ascend, descend. Though while they live, they count themselves blessed. Look how lucky I am. You see this all the time. Just turn on TV. And people praise you when you prosper. Though while they live, they count themselves blessed, and people praise you when you prosper. They will join those who have gone before them, who will never again see the light of life. People who have, this is the last line, people who have wealth but lack understanding are like the beasts that perish. So just read Psalm 49. Every time you see these wealthy people, these wicked people, and they're just getting ahead, further ahead, just read Psalm 91 and be patient. They think they're going somewhere. They think they're moving up the ladder. Even if they don't believe, they stand there in judgment. They expect, oh, why am I not at the front of the line? Why do I not have the best seats in this place? Because they're nobody. They're nobody. The more you attain in this world, the further you are from God, and harder it is to get in there. Like Jesus said, eye of a needle. Easy to put a camel through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to make it into heaven. He told us that. He warned you. And there's people out there that are wealthy that say they're Christians, and then you got these prosperity theologists and churches promoting all this, like, hey, ask and seek and knock, and you'll get all this stuff you want. It's okay to make all this money. It's okay to do all this stuff. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. It is not. So do not be troubled then by them. Lessen yourself. As John the Baptist said, he must increase while I must decrease. He must increase in this world while us must decrease. He must increase in here, while the I, the self, me, and all that I am and have must decrease, become less. And Jesus said, no one gets the Father except through me, and you must come as little children who had nothing, who were bare, were naked, pure, to get into heaven. Stop wasting time. Because time is running out faster than you can even begin to imagine. So with that, not to be sounding, it's not a lot of negativity in there, but not. It's chastisement, and anybody who's gifted, that's another thing. Anybody who's gifted, who serves the Lord, a servant of Christ, is given the authority by him to rebuke and banish darkness, to rebuke and admonish and correct and teach those who aren't paying attention, who aren't seeking him, who aren't correct in what they've learned and understood and been taught. Have that authority. And everybody has the authority to test those who proclaim themselves to be servants of God. Pope, priests, reverends, ministers, deacons, pastors, anybody purports themselves to be a representative of Christ, writing their books, talking on TV. Everybody has the right to test them. We're told to test them. Let's read the Bible. And that's another thing. People say, oh, follow, adhere to everything. It's in the scriptures. But yet you tell them something like, where does it say that? Read the Bible, and you will know where it says it. Read the Bible. Everything is in the Bible that we were taught. But you got to seek it down deep. It's down deep. The surface pages of the Bible are full of corruption, half-truths, and lies. And that's something I was taught early on in this journey. You have to unlearn all that you've learned. What's false and half-truths and lies. You have to unlearn all that you've learned, so then you can begin to learn what you need to learn. In other words, you have to become a clean slate again, like a baby. So you can begin to learn the truth about him, what you need to learn to get in to heaven. So you ask Jesus, help me, correct me, anything that's wrong. And I ask that too. If I'm understanding anything, Lord, incorrectly, straighten me out. I ask that part of word and truth. Any of my senses, Lord, anything I perceive, any of my senses, help me to discern what is your word, your truth, not mine. And anything I share about you, please make sure I'm sharing only your word and your truth, not mine. Because it ain't about me. It is not about me. I'm nothing. He is everything. And anybody who thinks there's something, you're deluding yourself or lessen yourself so he may exalt you in the correct way, in the correct form. Let him transform you, the way you think, the way you act, the way you are. In Jesus Christ's name, amen.